For millennia, humanity has grappled with the profound, with the unknown, with the whisper of something more. What if that whisper never existed? What if, from the very dawn of consciousness, the concept of the divine, of organized faith, of shared spiritual narratives, simply never arose? Imagine a parallel world, not one where religions were abolished or suppressed, but a world where they simply never were. No ancient myths passed down through generations, no sacred texts shaping civilizations, no grand cathedrals or humble shrines dotting the landscape. How would humanity have evolved? What would our societies, our conflicts, our very understanding of existence look like? This isn't an attack on faith, nor an endorsement of its absence. This is a thought experiment, a neutral, detached exploration into the deepest what-if in human history. Let us journey into a world profoundly different, yet disturbingly familiar. In our hypothetical world, early humans still face the same primal fears: hunger, predators, the mysteries of life and death. But without the framework of the spiritual, how would they interpret the unexplainable? Would lightning be seen purely as a natural phenomenon to be understood, rather than the wrath of a god? Would death be seen as a biological end, rather than a transition to an afterlife? Perhaps early human understanding would be driven purely by observation and practical knowledge. The most skilled hunter, the wisest elder, might gain authority through demonstrated ability and experience, rather than divine right or spiritual insight. Imagine a primal scene. A mother, her face etched with a grief as ancient as humanity itself, cradles her silent infant. In our world, such moments were often met with ritual, with prayers for a passage to another realm. But in this parallel world, those comforting narratives are absent. Her sorrow would be a raw, unfiltered confrontation with the absolute finality of death. Would this unvarnished reality lead to an unbearable despair or a deeper appreciation for the fragile beauty of life? Would the community, unable to offer spiritual solace, rally with intensified human compassion? Without early religious structures, large-scale human gatherings might coalesce around shared resources, defensive needs, or irrigation projects. Would grand architecture be practical rather than ceremonial? Would governance emerge from consensus and logic rather than priestly authority? Would humanity, in its earliest stages, still seek meaning without belief? Or would the pragmatic realities of survival be enough? As early societies blossomed into civilizations, the role of religion became deeply intertwined with power, law, and identity. In a world without faith, how would empires rise and fall? Would codes of law still emerge with the same moral imperatives? Would art and literature find different muses? The construction of the pyramids of Giza, the epics of Gilgamesh, the rise of Rome, all shaped by belief. Without the pharaoh as a living god or the Roman pantheon, what would inspire such grandeur? Perhaps the ambition of rulers, the pursuit of science, or the drive for legacy would fill that void. The concept of right and wrong is often framed within sacred texts. In this world, would morality evolve from social contracts, reason, and empathy? Would we still care for the vulnerable without a divine commandment? Without religious institutions, would education focus purely on science, mathematics, and philosophy? Would universities emerge without theology, yet flourish through curiosity alone? Would morality survive without faith? Or would humanity find even deeper, more rational reasons to be good? In the modern world, would science have advanced faster, unburdened by dogma? Or would it have lacked some of the initial philosophical questions religion posed? Consider someone facing a personal crisis: loss, failure, existential dread. Without prayer or spiritual guidance, where would they find comfort? Would therapy, philosophy, or human connection be enough? Without religion, Would the world be more peaceful? Or would nationalism, ideology, and resources simply become new banners for war? So much of humanity's art and music has been inspired by the divine. What would replace a Bach Mass or a Renaissance painting? Would creativity explore nature, consciousness, and the abstract even more deeply? Would humanity still seek transcendence, even if it found no gods? So, what would define the human spirit? Would our curiosity drive us to the stars even faster? Would we cherish life more, knowing there's no afterlife? Without a divine judge, would our accountability shift? Would justice come from fear of human consequences or from empathy? Perhaps, in this world, the weight of morality, purpose, and compassion would rest solely on our shoulders. There would be no higher plan, only the choices we make. Would this freedom bring peace or despair? Would we love harder, knowing it all ends here? Would we still divide and fight, or finally unite? Would we find something sacred in each other? What do you think? If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and join us. New videos every day, exploring the questions that define us.